Alright, so we're back, bro. I was gonna end off in the last video. I was gonna say, yo, GTA 5 is. I'm never gonna hate on GTA 5, bro. It's my favorite game of all time. I don't give a shit, bro.
The PC versions of GTA
because they do all this like hating and shit, bro. But the generational changes, I think, is part of the lore, bro.
offer many possibilities.
Anyway,
not only do they have very sharp and quality textures, but we can also.
I'm sick of not being able to pause on my space bar, bro. What year is it, man? And then I want to go back as well. Thank you. There we go. It's just because sometimes like, I'd be fucking up OBS. Things you only see in GTA 4 and Xbox 360 and PS3.
Not only do they have very sharp and quality textures, but we can also tweak with the graphics however we like by using modifications. Still, it turns out that in some aspects, and paradoxically, also or even mainly in the graphical aspects, the console versions of GTA are the best.
Bro, I gotta replay this.
The comparison between the GTA on PC and on Xbox 360 showed it very well. It's also an interesting case with GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City. However, today, our main hero is GTA 4, and playing that game on the 7th generation consoles was something very special. By comparing the PC version with the console one can spot a difference in clothing. To be more precise, it's basically to do with the suits, which Nico can purchase at Perseus. On PC, it doesn't look bad, but upon comparing it with the choice we've got on the consoles, one can quickly
play GTA 4, bro. Real talk. I fuck with you. We play GTA 4, bro.
Change their opinion. On PC, in the central part of the shop,
why do you stand like that?
Differ from each other. The differences are pretty minor. In turn, on the consoles, we've had various colors to pick from, and the suits themselves were unbuttoned, which also revealed the tie. Some suits resembled coats and perfectly suited the thread with Francis.
That's why it looked better when I watched somebody replay. I actually watched Harlow replay GTA 4. It looked, this sounds crazy, bro. What we doing? Like, he did this on PS3, bro. So this is not new. He did this styles, bro. And I always found it weird, bro. Anyway,
one can quickly change their opinion, colors to pick from, and the suits themselves were unbuttoned, which also revealed the tie.
That it was closed.
Some suits were
open on Xbox 360, bro. I mean PS3, because I didn't have no Xbox. I ain't no weirdo, bro. But yeah, I had a problem with it being open. Like, I found that strange. And then when I watched Hollow replay it, he put on a suit and it was closed. I was like, oh, it looks way better, bro. Like, okay.
Coats and perfectly suited the thread with Francis. You know, they allowed you to fully immerse yourself in that police detective atmosphere. And then we had those sweaters, which Nico wore under some suits. You know, the type like the Alderney Mafia wore, or our Irish friends at the bank robbery. Repping such a suit while working for Pegorino? Top-notch immersion boost. I'd even go as far as to say that those console suits don't only fit the DNA of the Perseus brand, but also emphasize their premium style. In those coats, Nico really looks stylish. As the youth say these days, one might even say that Nico be drippin'. Sorry about that. I'd better not leave my old-fashioned zone. The range of choice in case of the footwear also underwent changes. In Perseus, on PC, we've got classic suit-fitting wingtips, while on the consoles, all those shoes look wonderful. Well, maybe only those white ones don't convince me. That one's a little too much, although to give someone a proper kick in the ass with such a stomper, they'd have to replace their sphincters after that, for sure.
Sphincters?
The PC version also has various little flaws. There's lots of bugs on it, such as flickering textures or distorted car reflections. The consoles do not have those issues. You can see comparisons of stuff like that on the screen. Mirror reflections, misplaced hitboxes, for example in the Rancher car, or ill-chosen textures like in the Sanchez, which uses the lit headlight texture even if the lights are off. A reverse situation takes place in the Ballad, where the exclusive vehicles always use the turned-off reflectors textures, even while they're on. Another thing that's a approximation of interact.
Yo, I don't give a GTA 4 on PS3 was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. GTA 5 was good, bro. Don't get it twisted, bro. Let me move my water bottle before this shit goes flying, bro. Way ahead of it. Oh God, bro. I would get into whips like you see this, bro. Like,
takes place in
everything was just so realistic.
Headlight texture.
And then that's why we were so hyped for GTA 5, bro. I think I said this before. The reason we were so hyped was because GTA 4 was way ahead of. We were just like, if this is insane, what the fuck could these dudes be doing in the next one? And then on top of it, it was in Los Santos, bro. And so, like, we were going back, you know what I mean?
First situation.
Now, look at this. The PC version just looks, like, strange to me. It's not from what I remember. And, like, this on the left here is exactly what I remember, bro. Like
place in
the
the
car's completely dark, right? This got the headlights on the right side in the PC version, man. Like not it, bro. Completely dark, right?
where the exclusive
I
vehicles
don't know what Broski's talking about, but
use the
until the whip goes on, the light goes on, bro. Come on, bro. Like everything was just elite. I don't know what it was about this game.
off reflectors textures, even while they're on. Another thing that surprised me is the lack of animation of interacting with the homeless. On all three platforms, it's possible sometimes to give a beggar some cash. On PC, however, for whatever reason, there's no animation. We just have cash subtracted from our account and maybe hear some dialogue. On PS3 and Xbox 360, it looked miles better. Nico physically dropped $10 on the ground.
Right. Motherfucker throws that shit.
Another difference, which is hard to miss and which looks poor on PC compared to Xbox 360 and PS3, are the distant lights. On PC, the city looks a little dead at night.
Yeah, because
The LED effect of the traffic has been severely changed. On the consoles, we had a simple light corona, which was meant to represent a car moving in the distance. In turn, on PC, it was technically upgraded, because now it became 4 little lights which are supposed to represent car reflectors. Unfortunately, those lights are barely visible from a distance, thus all the charm disappeared and the city at night doesn't look as good as on the consoles. The people who install and play the game are bound to be disappointed in this aspect. That's why I'll add that on PC you can install the mod called Project 2D FX. Of course, it knocks out the console versions without a problem, but today we're checking what Rockstar implemented, not modders. It's also worth adding that the distant lights turn on a bit later on PC.
Look at the PC version on the right, bro. It's just not designed for it, bro. Rockstar like almost thrive with lower. How do I explain it? Like they've done better with lower capabilities. In my opinion,
because the PC version lacks contrast.
They've just been the best at that.
9 p.m. still looks relatively bright. The same time of day on the consoles causes a shift to darker colors, so early enabling the lights fits here perfectly. Those who've watched the video on the same subject as today, only that about GTA 5, may remember that we said that the PC version was toned down in a few aspects.
Bro, I hate it when I can pick up noises that I'm not supposed to, like in the distance.
We've got a similar case. Many visual effects are not as intense as they used to be on the consoles. A good example is the noise effect in GTA The Lost and Damned, which is less noticeable on PC. Similarly, the distortion effect at the death screen on the consoles, it looks better. We can also
this raises another point, bro. I don't care, bro. I don't care. This raises another point, bro. The Ballad of Gay Tony was the only one like I really played. I didn't play GTA 4 and a little bit of Lost and Damned. I didn't even play original GTA 4. That's crazy to me. Ballad of Gay Tony, I played. Loki, that one had the best like pause menu in the history of any game, bro. It's closely rivaled by GTA, either online or the regular pause menu of GTA 5. But the online, this guy said it in the last video. It's such a shame I didn't react to that one, bro.
Bullet impact effect. The particles seem to be less pronounced and less intense than on PC. The firing effect deals with a similar shift. It looks much more spectacular on the consoles. As we're on the subject of particles, it would also be worth mentioning that they're broken on PC. It's best noticeable with fire. You can see certain flat cuts on the fire particles. It doesn't look good, while there was no such issue on the consoles. In any case, the pattern known from GTA 5 is repeated in GTA 4. Many effects are simply less. During nighttime on PC, you can see that.
Yo, on God, bro. I'm saying YouTube Premium, bro. Like, for real, it's hard.
The color palette, while they also should be visible correctly, they only appear once we get very close to the building, while they also should be visible from afar.
I mean, what? Bro,
see that certain lights are missing from buildings, which should, but it's not that they're not there. They simply render incorrectly. They only appear once we get very close to the building, while they also should be visible from afar. The color palette, we've talked about this a lot while discussing GTA 5. GTA 4 could perhaps demonstrate how much of a downgrade the PC version is compared to the consoles even better. What's more, it's an element that accompanies a player at all times, which is why it's worth discussing. While testing various weathers on all three platforms, one can arrive at a very clear conclusion. First of all, the PC version is defeated by the initial releases in terms of the appearance and atmosphere. Secondly, the console versions also differ from each other. It's clear that the Xbox 360 version was designed to match the atmosphere of the game as much as can be. The colors are colder than on PS3 there. Also, some graphics.
Yo, like, I swear, I can hear noises from like fucking 10 meters away, bro.
Aspects such as transparency of certain objects or skin reflections are better on Xbox. Then we've also got the volumetric lights interacting with objects, which feature is available only on the Xbox 360 version. And another exclusive feature on this platform is the sea foam, which appears when the water hits the coast.
I think the Xbox 360 was actually a more powerful console than the PS3. Clearly demonstrated in multiple games, bro. And I'm a PlayStation fan. I've never owned a box in my life, bro. But I'm saying the 360 just, I think, was a stronger console. Fuck the games and the titles and shit, bro. I'm talking about, I just think it was a little bit more powerful. But PlayStation's always gonna be the GOAT, bro. Like, you know,
on the other hand, went with a less realistic, yet a lot more artistic approach, a style very typical of Rockstar. The atmosphere of GTA 4 on PS3 resembles the atmosphere of the classic trilogy on PS2 a lot more. Warmer colors, very orange sunsets, and the feeling that every element fits together. So Rockstar decided to take on a bit different artistic approach with each platform. Unfortunately, with the PC version, if we were to name the approach taken there, it would be subtlety, and that's rarely a good thing on video games. A result? A game without a soul. And that's the case with GTA 4 on PC a little bit. The image is brighter, it lacks contrast and vivid colors. And some visual effects, such as fog or the light intensity, were toned down. Going further, something that was also messed up in the PC port and what was recently exposed by the Fusion Fix mod is the rain. Firstly, the rain is less noticeable than on the consoles. There, if it's raining, we know it's raining. On PC, I sometimes have to stop for a second and have a closer look to see if it's raining or not. Another big issue is the raindrops appearing on the screen. Those are less noticeable on PS3 and Xbox. But that's actually very well reasoned here, since they're transparent blue, which is kind of what they should be. On PC, they are very noticeable simply because they're black. It just looks poor. I mean, I bet Yusuf Amir is happy that oil started to fall down from the sky, but I'm not sure it's such a great treat for an average Liberty City citizen, and especially not for a player. Are the water reflections on the ground while the surface is wet? Those are the best on...
Anyway, bro, let's get back to it, bro. Dude's like so sensitive to noses, bro. What's bro talking about?
Staying on the topic of rain, another thing related to it are the water reflections on the ground while the surface is wet. Those are the best on Xbox 360 in my opinion. Yeah. On PS3, I have a feeling that they were overly exaggerated.
Nah, I just think PS3 is less powerful, bro.
The reflections are not too intense and not too distorted. They're exactly how they should be for me. Another quite serious flaw is the broken bullet spread. See, it turns out that while using a computer mouse, it disappears. And I don't mean that a similar effect to CSGO. The problem in the PC version is that the spread disappeared completely. Weapons begin to be super accurate, and that's even while shooting blind from behind cover. The consoles didn't have that problem, obviously, because we use a controller there. And sure, if we plug in a controller on PC, the bullet spread returns. But the players who play on PC often play there because they prefer to use the keyboard and mouse, so there's no reason to discriminate them and take away such realistic effects. That'll be all for today, but we're working on another video on that subject. We've got plenty of own discoveries in that matter, and if you want to help us, let me know about them in the comments, and we'll include
we gotta watch that one
in the next video.
Yo, last video? Nah, I think went down. Yo, I'm at this meet, bro. Make sure you subscribe, bro. Peace.